everyone. This is going to be a bit of a different video from me, but I think it's important to talk about, and I hope it will just be helpful for you guys, or at least to someone out there. It's very hard for me to talk about, so I'm sorry if this video is kind of like all over the place or whatever. I just, like I said, it's really not something I talk about very often, if at all, really. So this is going to be a video on depression and some things that come along with it sometimes, at least for me. I do have clinical depression and anxiety and panic disorder. So yeah, that's a whole barrel of fun that I get to deal with now, isn't it? And there are so many people that are affected by depression and other mental illnesses, and it's such an absolute gosh darn shame that it is not talked about more often. It's one of the major reasons that I didn't get help for a long time, because it is so stigmatized and not normalized, I guess. I mean, it's a lot more common than I guess a lot of people think it is, purely because it's not very talked about. So I am not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything even remotely related. I did take 4 psychology classes in undergraduate, and you know, I learned a lot, but I am in no means a professional or I'm not a doctor, you guys, so please do your own research. Hopefully I'm getting stuff right here. I don't want to misinform anybody, but I do just want to talk about my understanding of depression and whatnot, and just kind of what I know about it. Just to start off, I will go through and read what the DSM-5 says about depression and diagnosing it. The DSM, for anyone who doesn't know what it is, it's the Diagnostic Statistic Manual or something. It's basically like a book where you can go and see like all different kinds of mental illnesses, and it'll have symptoms and whatnot, and basically like a checklist, if you will, to see if you may or may not have that problem. There are a bunch of different levels of depression, and I'm not quite sure on all of them. I know there's like people can have depressive episodes, people can have major depressive disorder, and a few others, I think, but I'm not sure on all the differences, so I'm not gonna go into that. Some of the checklists here, it's a depressed mood or loss of interest or pleasure in daily activities for more than 2 weeks. And this is like, it's kind of a constant feeling, really. And this is a very different change from that person's normal. Whether you're going to school or you're working, whatever, that's very impaired. You can't really do these things because of your mood. And then specific symptoms, you have to have at least 5 of these 9 being present nearly every single day. Depressed mood or irritable most of the day, nearly every day. Number 2 is a decreased interest or pleasure in most activities most of each day. 3 is significant weight change, which could be up or down, or change in appetite. Number 4 is change in sleep. You may have insomnia or hypersomnia. Number 5 is change in activity, psychomotor agitation or retardation. Number 6, fatigue or loss of energy. Number 7, guilt or worthlessness. So these feelings of excessive or inappropriate guilt and worthlessness. Number 8 is concentration. You might have a diminished ability to think or concentrate or be more indecisive. And then also number 9 is suicidal. So thoughts of death or suicide, or has a suicide plan. So I ended up feeling super silly when I went to go and film the text for this video, and noticed that I was reading off of the DSM-4 instead of the DSM-5, but I did go ahead and look up to see if there were any major changes to the DSM-5 with major depressive disorder, or you know, depression in general, and thankfully it seems like nothing changed too much. So here you go, here's them saying what did and did not change for the diagnosis of this, but I just figured I would put this in here to let you guys know the update since it's been updated. Sorry about the confusion and whatnot if I caused any. And I definitely did say that this video was going to be all over the place. I definitely did not go and look and read for you guys about what anxiety and panic attack are diagnosed as. So here are the symptoms of a panic attack, which I definitely do have. Like I do say in the later part of this video when I describe what a panic attack feels like, at least to me, yeah, I'm this is it. You basically have to have at least 4 of the following symptoms during an abrupt onset of intense fear or discomfort that reaches a peak within minutes. So for me, it's definitely the palpitations, pounding heart or accelerated heart rate, sweating, trembling or shaking, sensations of shortness of breath or smothering, chest pain or discomfort, nausea or abdominal distress, feeling dizzy, unsteady, lightheaded, faint, chills or heat sensations, derealization or depersonalization, which to me it definitely is that like out-of-body experience, fear of losing control or going crazy, and also fear of dying. So then we also have generalized anxiety disorder or GAD, which is characterized by persistent, excessive, and unrealistic worry about everyday things. To be diagnosed, you have to experience at least 3 of the symptoms below on more days than not for at least 6 months. It'll include restlessness or feeling keyed up or on edge, being easily fatigued, difficulty concentrating or mind going blank, irritability, muscle tension, and sleep disturbance. So right now I'm just on the Anxiety and Depression Association of America page, and it just kind of goes over everything associated with anxiety and whatnot. I mean, right here you can see in this side column all of these things that you can have or that end up associated with each other. And the list just goes on. It's a lot. So, I mean, if any of that is sounding familiar to you, you probably want to go see a doctor. And I know that that's a lot easier said than done, but it's so hard for me to, like, I feel like be all preachy or whatever because it took me so long to go get help myself, and it's still a struggle to this day, you know, to keep consistent with my meds and, like, be consistent with, you know, mental health help, I guess, you know, just like self things you can do to kind of try and keep your depression at bay, because even if you do take medication, that's not like some magical happy pill that just makes everything go away, you know? It's something that you have to work on too. It helps, but it's not a cure. I mean, I knew I had depression. I knew what was happening, but I think a lot of people, myself included, struggle with depression in the sense that it's shameful, or it's felt to be shameful. It's not a shameful thing. Like, there shouldn't be this stigma that like there's something wrong with us just because we have this chemical imbalance that doesn't allow us to be happy, normal, functioning people. You know, like, it's not our fault. I feel like the best way to kind of like describe it to someone who doesn't quite understand, like, why can't you just be happy? Like, why can't you just get better? To me, it's like asking someone who has the flu, like, why can't you just stop puking? Like, why can't you just make your nose stop running? Like, seriously, just stop. You know, like, you can't. Like, it is physically and chemically impossible for you to just stop. It's not an option because you have an actual chemical imbalance in your brain that's not allowing you to be normal. And I know I'm gonna do that a lot, the quotes and like normality and whatever, because it's so different from person to person. For me, I think my depression kind of started around the second half of my sophomore year in undergrad. For reference, I just graduated with my master's degree this past year, so that was probably like 5 years ago, I guess. And then like really kind of tumbled downward, spiraled downward, I guess, the beginning of junior year, and I did not get help until the very end of my junior year. So I struggled for about 1.5 years with trying to deal with depression on my own, and it's just, I mean, I'm sure maybe some people can do it, but it's so hard to, I don't know, it's so hard to even describe how worthless and incapable it makes you feel. Like, you feel like so much less of a human being, and I'm gonna start to get emotional here because it is. It really makes you feel like you're incapable of doing things that should be completely normal. You know, getting out of bed to eat something or getting out of bed to take a shower, like, things that should not be hard to do are impossible. It feels so impossible to do these things, especially like first world problems, you know, like you sit there and it's like, I have no reason to be sad. Like, I have a roof over my head, I have food in my kitchen, like I am warm and safe and comfortable, like I am getting an education, like I have family and friends that love me. There's no reason for me to be sad. So why do I feel so worthless and just like nobody cares about me, when that is so far from the truth? And it's suffocating, and it really messes with you. It makes it so that you don't want to go to class, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to go to hang out with your friends because you feel like they don't want you there, or you don't belong there, you don't deserve to. And it sucks to feel that way. It's really hard. And even, you know, like I said, like taking medication isn't like some happy fix. Like it doesn't just go away. And I think that's why I'm being so emotional right now, is because I still go through some weeks sometimes where it's really hard, and you do feel that way still. And it sucks. It really sucks. At least for me, I just felt like such a disgusting human being. Like I just felt so ugly and just sick. I felt sick, and it was really hard. I honestly, I don't know how I ended up doing as well as I still did in school. I mean, I was a pretty much straight A student. I got like maybe 3 B's scattered around here and there, but I still somehow managed. I think that's one thing that can be quite common with depression, is that people can get really good at hiding it and covering it up. I know when I would tell some people that I had depression, have depression, I shouldn't even put that in the past tense, but people would be like, really? But you're so happy and like smiley all the time. Like, yeah, it's because I was overcompensating and trying to make it so that people didn't notice all of the crap that I was carrying around with me emotionally. I had absolutely no motivation to do anything. I would just lay in bed, not like, just nothing, just watching YouTube videos, or like just laying there and literally doing nothing. But, you know, I also had insomnia, so I couldn't really sleep, so I was exhausted all the time. I was so tired, and I hated myself. And I tried for a while to self-medicate. Drinking doesn't help. It really doesn't. I mean, there were a lot of other reasons why it was for like maybe a few months, I think, maybe like 4 months or so, that I was drinking like every weekend, and I was drinking to the point where I was blacking out, I was puking, whatever. There were other reasons other than being depressed. I also have always been the type of person where I just want to fit in, I just want to have friends and like be seen as I have everything in my life perfect. At that time, I had been like a no drinking, no drugs, no nothing. Like I am a straight edge, like no. But all of my friends from high school that were that way as well, they had started drinking before that, even like freshman, sophomore year, and like drinking quite often. And my friends and my roommates that I had at my college were very into drinking, and I just wanted to finally be normal and accepted and whatever else I felt like I needed drinking for. And it was dumb, and I made a bunch of really dumb mistakes, and I will carry those with me for the rest of my life. But I finally became lucky enough in that one of my roommates did notice that there was something wrong with me, and I will probably be, I mean, I shouldn't even say probably, I am forever grateful to her. She really pushed me in a very loving and kind way to go and just talk to somebody, which was very hard for me, and it still is. I still have a very hard time admitting that there's something wrong with me and something that I can't fix by myself. I've always been a very independent person and I like getting stuff done on my own. So to need help and to need to ask for help is it's really, really hard for me, and I know it is for a lot of other people out there. But she very gently pushed me to go and talk to the school therapist, and she was wonderful and just so good, and it felt so good to go and talk to her finally and like just kind of talk through things. I mean, I didn't even start off on medication for maybe like the first month or two that I went to go and talk to her every week. And so it is, behavioral type therapy is really helpful too, but sometimes it's just not enough. So eventually I did go on medication to help me. I personally, because in my head I still thought, you know, I can fight the depression, but the anxiety and panic that I was experiencing were so overwhelming and awful, and I just wanted to get rid of it, and I knew I couldn't do that on my own. There's a huge difference between anxiety and panic, and anyone who has had both of them knows that there is like, you know, and I'm not trying to like lessen anxiety, but if you had levels, if anxiety is here, panic is here. Like, it's so different and so awful. And basically whenever I had an anxiety attack, it usually turned into a panic attack where I could not breathe properly. Like, I felt like I was dying. Like, to be dramatic, I felt like I was dying. I really did. It's just a bunch of irrational thoughts and worries just all coming in at once, and it's all you can think about, and it is so debilitating. Like, you literally, I literally would have to just curl up in a ball and tell myself to breathe, like, because other than that, that's all I could do, and it would last for like 10 or 15 minutes, and it sucked. It sucked a lot, and it's so emotionally draining to feel that out of control and crazy. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but it's so suffocating, and it would happen to me at the worst times because mine was pretty much always related to social events, I guess. Like, and I shouldn't even say social events, I mean, it was like walking to class, and like I would get so overwhelmed thinking, what if I end up passing somebody and not seeing them, and then they feel like I was ignoring them or something, and then they get mad at me. Like, I was so afraid that that would happen. Or like going shopping, like going to the store by myself, like the grocery store, and like thinking that everyone was looking at me and judging at me, and, you know, what is she buying? Why would she buy that? Oh my gosh, ew, like blah blah blah. And like literally I would have to just drop everything and leave the store because I couldn't even focus on what I was there to get. Like, if I needed apples, I couldn't get the apples because I couldn't even think past like, oh my gosh, everyone is looking at me, everyone is judging every single movement and thought that I'm making. Like, it's so ridiculous in hindsight and talking about it, but when you're there in that moment, there is nothing more real than the panic that is happening in your mind and the anxiety that you're having over doing this very simple, basic life task. I don't know what all exactly there is to talk about other than, you know, I've had depression and panic and anxiety and a sprinkling of OCD on there, which is also not very fun. I mean, if you guys want, I mean, I know it's like obvious, like when I like have my sleeves rolled up and whatnot, like I have dermatillomania, which I didn't know was a thing until like a month ago. And I mean, if you guys want me to talk about that in a separate video, I can. It's something that is still like very real and very present day for me, so it's a little bit harder even to talk about. It also sucks. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know, I guess with other mental illnesses, but depression unfortunately is one of the ones where if you have that, you very likely have other things. If not full blown, you have them sprinkled in. I hope it helps to hear me talk about this. Like I said before, a lot of friends and family, like, they're so shocked, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you, Cassie, of all people, have depression or whatever. It's so easy on YouTube to watch someone and think, oh my gosh, they are perfect, their life is perfect, like, everything, they've got everything under control. But you only see such a slight sliver of who that person is. And, you know, even if you do know me, even if you are friends with me in real life, you know, not all of my friends know that I deal with this. And, you know, it's not necessarily something people have to know. It's not like people have the right to know these things about you, but it shouldn't be as big of a deal to talk about as it is. You know, like, it shouldn't have to be this big, shameful whatever that we see it as societally. You know, we've turned it into such an awful, shameful, closeted thing, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. There are so many people dealing with it, and I think it would be so much easier for people to get over it and get help if they knew that it wasn't such the stigmatized thing that we have turned it into as a society. To anyone watching this video, if you think you have depression, even if you think you have it, I know easier said than done, but really, I really extend my hand in saying, please go and talk to somebody about it. Go even to your doctor. Just say, hey, is this a thing that I might possibly have? And take it from there, you know? Even if they say, yes, you do. You don't have to go and be on meds that day. You don't have to go and talk to a psychiatrist that day. You know, like, you can take it one step at a time at your own pace, but it is something that is better dealt with than suppressed, you know? It's not something that can be suppressed. It doesn't mean that you are less than. I think that's the biggest thing, and you deserve help. You deserve to be happy. I just, from getting to know so many of you here, like in the comments and whatnot of my videos, you guys are so amazing. Like, it really does touch me every single day when I get to read your comments on my videos, and to know that there are people like you out there struggling and getting told by people that you are less than because you have depression, that kills me. It really kills me, and I take it so personally because I understand, and I just want you to know that you are not alone. And you are loved, and you do have people who care about you. I care about you. I don't, like, how do you end this kind of a video? Like, I mean, I hope I covered everything. I feel like I kind of did. If anything, definitely, you know, Google. Go to WebMD, go to even Wikipedia, you know, just like read about it. If you feel like you might be experiencing this sort of a thing or any other kind of mental illness out there, just look it up. There's no shame in just looking it up and seeing, you know, maybe. And there is no shame in a mental illness being a part of you. It's just a part of you, just like your skin is a part of you, like your hair is a part of you, you know? It is what it is, and you have to figure out a way to deal with it, I guess. However that may be, just suicide is not the option. It's, I mean, it's an option, but it's not the option that should be taken. There's always help. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I will absolutely, like, put it down below, the suicide hotline and whatnot. Like, there are people out there who want to help you, and there are people out there who think you are worth being, and it's because you are. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful in some way. I know it is very different from my beauty videos and stuff, but it's important to talk about, and it's important to know and to share. I love you guys so much. I really do. I appreciate you all and I value you all, mental illness or not. I just felt like it was important to share. So as always, I really do, when I say this in my outro every time, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, stay well until then. Bye.